Audio Jungle.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Abdul Moin. I'll be teaching embryology. In this lecture, we'll start with the introduction of embryology. Let's get started. So, what is embryology? Is from a single cell to a baby in 9 months. So, embryo and fetus. So, what is embryo and what is fetus? Both are the products of conception, but embryo is less than 2 months, and fetus is more than 2 months. Embryo is also called organogenesis, takes place during this duration. So, what is embryogenesis? The first 8 weeks of human development is called the period of embryogenesis. Sometimes it's also called organogenesis. The second is fetal period. So, what is fetal period? Fetal period after embryogenesis, the point from that point until birth is called the fetal period. In the organogenesis, we'll start with the development of gonads. Gonad will develop from the intermediate plate mesoderm in the lumbar region. So this is the primitive gonad. So this is yolk sac. This is primitive gamete. We'll differentiate into different male and female sex, XX and XY. So what happened? The primitive gamete will migrate from the yolk sac to the primitive gamete via amoeboid movements at the end of fifth week. Fetal period is a time when differentiation continues while the fetus grows and gains weights. Now let's talk about Y chromosome, which is also known as acral chromosome. It has one short end and one long arm. Short arm, which is acral part, has two genes. Uh, gene First gene is for gene for hair on pinna, and second is SRY gene. SRY gene which translates into TDF, testicular developmental factor, which is responsible for differentiation of primitive gonads into testes. So this is the acral part, which has two gene for hair on pinna, which is in male, and which also control the male hair baldness pattern, and the second gene, which is SRY gene, which is sex determining region for the formation of testicular developmental factor, which then differentiate primitive gonads into testes. Moving on towards oogenesis. Oogenesis is the development of mature ova in which primary gametes will convert into primordial germ cells. Then primordial germ cells will change itself to oogonia. Oogonia then convert to primary oocytes. Primary oocytes will remain in the process of meiosis 1 till puberty and will complete its meiosis just before ovulation. So then this primary oocytes will convert into secondary oocyte. Now second mitotic division will complete at fertilization. Let's talk about the menstrual cycle. It has two cycles: ovarian cycle and the uterine cycle. In the ovarian cycle, we'll see it has two phases: follicular phase and the ovulation phase. Follicular phase is stimulated by the FSH. It has a time duration of 14 plus minus 7 days, different for different females. The menstrual cycle is of 28 days plus minus 7. Sometimes it goes to 35 days in some females, and sometimes it goes to 21 days in some females. So the ovulatory phase is stimulated by the LH, luteinizing hormone, and it has the same duration as in the ovarian cycle. So let's talk about the uterine cycle. It has menstrual phase, which is the first day of menstruation is the first day of bleed, and the follicular phase Proliferative phase, which is the proliferation occurs under the effect of estrogen, and the secretory phase, which has a fixed duration of 14 days, which is the first diet for embryo. Then the luteal phase, which is stimulated by the luteinizing hormone. It has a constant time duration of 14 days, uh, in which the progesterone production occurs under the effect of luteinizing hormone. So, if no fertilization occur within the 10 day, the corpus luteum has the life of 10 days. If fertilization take place after 10 days, then there will be the surge of beta HCG, which rescue the corpus luteum uh, for the retention of product of conception for the production of progesterone. Okay, now let's understand the follicular development. During puberty, under the effect of FSH, the primordial follicle or the primary oocyte will develop into the growing follicle which has cuboidal cells, which then further develop into the primary follicle, which has a zona plasuda and granulosa cells around the nucleus. Primary follicle then further develop to secondary follicle, which has a lunar shape structure, which is called the follicular antrum. The secondary follicle then further changes to tertiary follicle, which has a theca layer. The theca layer has two parts, theca externa and the theca interna. Theca interna cells stimulated by follicle stimulating hormone then produces testosterone. Most of the testosterone will be uptake by the granulosa cell under the effect of FSH. Then granulosa cells convert the testosterone to estradiol, and the theca externa cell is mostly connective tissue layer.